rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad. After her there ain't no coming back. Wanna take a run at that? I think she's feeling me. Turn it up a few degrees. My imagination of her body gets the best of me. Oh gosh, she's such a tease. Bitten lips, bruised knees. I'm addicted to her, need her touching me. Cause she got a bad little waist, and we tearing down this place. Off the liquor that we chase. Casamigos to the face, baby, I don't need no space. Coming
touch all your seatbelts, touch all your connections, touch your hand, everything like you want it.
Just fade away, cause she's like sex, drugs, cocaine, body so insane, jealous of the clubbing.
Favor, touch all your seatbelts, touch all your connections, touch your hand, make sure you get everything like you want it.
I feel like an addict cause she's sex, drugs, cocaine. Got a fine little body and her mind's kinda naughty. They say that once you taste it, you cannot replace it. She could get you high, all the dopamine inside triggers fast once she's naked. Her body's a creation. They say the devil made her for his entertainment, but even he couldn't learn how to contain it. Her high heels make a damn good statement. There is no replacement, a body by Satan. She got a bad little waist, and we tearing down this place. Off the liquor that we chase. Casamigos to the face, baby, I don't need no space. Coming closer for a taste, and I'll show you how I make everything just fade away. Cause she's like sex, drugs, cocaine, body so insane, jealous of the clothing that she wears up on a tight frame. All game, no shame, baby came here to play. I feel like an addict cause she's sex, drugs, cocaine.
Alrighty, Sigma Racers are taken to the line here at Vegas tonight for the USA Trucks Western Division. And on the front row, you're going to have Trevor and Trevor, like we've seen so many times this season. Between these two, they've won pretty much 95% of the races on this Western Division, so we'll see if maybe they might pull off another win here tonight. Then you've got Brian DeBlank and Tom Cording right behind them, or Tim. It's going to be hard to keep that from getting confused. Zach Magoon and William Whitmore. And then behind them, you've got the 24 of Kyler Sestre and the 09 of Matthew Fastnot. Chris Harvey, he's got a special paint scheme here today. The Celtics Honda Ridgeline for LFG Motorsports commemorate the Boston Celtics season this year, alongside Dave Steele Jr. Then you've got Alex Sanvital and Noah Hobson, Tasha Wright and Anheuser Walkner, Lynn Farrell and Kat Durham, Jason So and John Hagan, Krista Cower and Spinham Walker, Rich Roy and Adam Starr, Paul Ladino and Bailey Parker, Adam Cruz and Joao Vitor, Gavin Legend, Jack Davis, Alan Chavot and Braden Hunt, Jonah Burge and Jacob Shangle, Matthew Hubert, Chasey Plays, Monty Shangle, Roach, Popchris, Kataz, Kovacic, Holmes, Rodriguez, and Thole rounding out your field here today. So we're just going at about half distance of the 777 annual for the USA Trucks Western. 178 laps here today. Oh, and just like in our Cup race last night, front row drivers having some trouble here right off the start. We saw that with Al Bunch having a flat tire right out of the gate. Trevor Vaden has a flat tire right out of the gate as well. Al Bunch was able to recover going 2 laps down here last night to come home for a second place finish. We'll have to see if Trevor Vaden can pull this off. It's going to be a hard hit in the points if he can't. So retroactively, that gives Brian DeBlank the front row on the start here alongside Trevor Walker. And in case you missed it yesterday, we had the second closest finish in Sigma history with our 777 annual Sylvania Cup Series race here at Vegas. After 777 kilometers, we came down to a photo finish, separating only 0.003 of a second between Liz Shangle and Al Bunch. And as mentioned, of course, Al Bunch had to come from being 2 laps down. He didn't even start the green flag on lap 1. He had to get a tow truck. It looks like Trevor Vaden in the same boat, only losing 1 lap compared to Al Bunch losing 2 laps. So he's got his work cut out for him. If he gets maybe a caution here or there, he can get the wave around and be back on the lead lap before you know it. So yeah, today's race, 267 miles for this USA Trucks West Division. Brian DeBlank out front leading. That's not a normal sight. You don't often see the 85 leading laps early. There's something special about Vegas, it seems like. You kind of see these surprise factors shaking at the front of the field. And definitely Brian DeBlank, one of those surprise factors here today. William Whitmore up into the top 5. He's fighting with Zach Magoon for 4th. We'll check out this battle here. And you got Chris Harvey there in the top 10 with the new colors, repping the Boston Celtics. This battle at the front's going to be a tough one all day. Oh, you got some team tactics there. Trevor Vaden, a lap down. He's trying to block the 85 from making a move here. He's actually not completely, he only went the majority of 1 lap down. He is not credited as 1 lap down until the leaders pass him. And so he just blocked the 85 from maintaining the lead there, giving his teammate Trevor Walker the overall lead here on the front stretch. We all know the story with Tim Cording. As long as he gets a win, he'll be eligible to compete in the chase here for the East-West Championship battle. He's made it up to the points within only about 3 races time, and he's in the top 30 without any hassle. Just goes to show you how stacked this field is at the front of the field. These trucks, it gets harder and harder the further back you are with your teams and stuff to actually compete for wins in this trucks division. And so honestly, it's impressive when you see drivers like Zach Magoon or William Whitmore running towards the front of the field, because it's often a struggle for some of these other teams out there to compete against the likes of LFG Motorsports, Courting Brothers Motorsports, and even Trevor Ventures, who have won just about every race there is to hold in the trucks this season. Looks like Tasha Wright moving her way up to the front here. She's in about 11th or 12th, just there in the background, with Lynn Farrell and Jason So. Jason So's kind of your midfield killer here. He's always running about mid-pack. He's actually overachieving some, running up in 13th, above the midway point. So, good start of the day for Jason So. Kat Durham there in the 22. John Hagan, the lone Chevy winner in our USA Trucks. And ever since he got that win, it's not been nearly the same that we've seen out of that 81. Honestly, Chevy's still struggling to get that second win here in the USA Trucks. We've seen some other strong contenders like Dave Steele Jr. here who could get the job done if all the pieces fell in the right place, that is. William Whitmore in a top 5 run right now. That Chevy running pretty strong. But everyone's got their front view full of the Trevor show, even though one of them is about to go a lap down here. Ooh, Tim Courting with a good run. This looks like the run that we saw at the end of the Cup race last night, where they got side by side for that photo finish. We can only hope to see another photo finish like that here today with the Truck Series. Yeah, he peters out. Didn't get quite the run on the front stretch as he had on the back stretch. And one other tidbit of knowledge is Volkswagen still looking for their first career win, which very, very possible for them to get done with the strength that we've seen out of that Volkswagen camp. Wouldn't be too surprising to see it happen sooner than later. See, this is an interesting scenario happening lap traffic early in the race like this. You don't often see lap traffic within the first 15 laps, let alone this was since lap 2 that we've seen the lap traffic in play here. Here comes Tim with another hard push. This time he's going to get him on the front stretch. Still really close to the back bumper of that 21, but does not execute a move quite yet. More opportunity to make it happen on the back stretch yet again here, as you see the gap very slim between the two of them. Going into turn 3, Tim Courting with a charge here. He's going to get alongside Walker for the lead. And Walker uses that outside momentum to his advantage yet again, closing the door on that 90. So what that's allowed is for the others to close back up again. As you see, Zach Magoon, Brian DeBlanc, and William Whitmore have joined the fight. No, and Tim Courting is blowing up out of second place. Oh, and they're wrecking right behind him too. Brian DeBlanc unfortunately just unfortunate circumstances collecting him in the mix there. That 90, it blew up in a severe way there from the lead. Serious engine damage to that number 90. Brian DeBlank's able to recover here for 15th. But the damage mostly has been done. Somehow we stay green after all that. And new second place, well, still second place, Zach Magoon. New third place driver, William Whitmore. Fourth place, Kyler Sestre. Fifth place, Matthew Fastnot. And Sigma officials are saying that there is oil down. So we are going to go ahead and throw a yellow to allow for some track cleanup here. That was quite the turn of events there. That's going to give Trevor Vaden a full lap back as he's in front of the leader here. He's going to be able to jet off here and rejoin the field at the back of the lead. But let's go ahead and go catch a replay on the 90 here, who unfortunately blew up while he's running in second place here. Nothing too out of the ordinary until he gets to the backstretch. On the exit of turn 2 here, just blows up. And William Whitmore unfortunately clips the 85. That wasn't any of his major fault. There's just so many drivers trying to avoid the slowed down number 90 truck there. And the rest of the field pretty much proceeds with caution the rest of the way there. And I feel like the officials will deem that a racing scenario. There's no intent, although Brian DeBlanks is most likely fuming in that 85 truck. There's nothing that the officials are going to do about that situation. It was simply one of those racing mistakes that were made. And so DeBlank most likely going to spend a little bit extra time on pit road here getting the damages repaired. Take 4 tires. Yep, just like that, he's going to be at the tail end of the field with the damages they're going to be repairing on that 85. It looks like he might rejoin in about 40th or 39th place. But, yep, out of the race with a blown header, it's Tim Cording. That's a rough way for him as he's trying to make his way into that chase. Needs a win and was running second here today. But sometimes bad luck strikes when you least expect it. And that was definitely a tough break for that 90 team. So now Trevor Walker gets to rejoin at the back of the field here, and he's going to have to charge through the entire field to join his teammate at the front of the field. Trevor Walker has led pretty much from the green flag drop here today. Brian DeBlank had a couple laps led, but unfortunately he's going to have to come through the field as well now. Zach Magoon in second, William Whitmore in third, Kyler Sestre in fourth, Matthew Fastnot in fifth. Then you've got Alex Sanvital, Tasha Wright, Lynn Farrell, Jason So up into the top 10. That's quite a good run for him. Chris Harvey sitting in 10th right now. And then you've got Paul Ladino, Adam Cruz, Kat Durham, Gavin Legend, Noah Hobson. Which Noah Hobson's an interesting statistic because he's one of the few that have won this year that is not named Trevor. So Noah Hobson in the mix. But but he's a little bit deeper in the field than he normally is, running 15th right now. As we skim through the rest of the field here, trying to see if any drivers that pop out at me are kind of surprisingly in the back here. Yeah, kind of standard fare throughout the field. One retirement now, as Tim Cording is out of the race. So we still have 41 trucks left running with 152 laps to go. At the end of the backstretch here, they'll get doubled up for the restart. We'll see if Trevor Walker is able to maintain his lead on this restart. Track cleanup was very rapid. We were able to get the oil cleaned up from the 90 truck. And we're going to be back in racing here on lap 26. Every time we come to Vegas, there's always potential for an exciting race to break out. We can already mark off one check mark that we've had a surprise factor kick in here tonight with the 90 blown up out of second place. What other boxes are we going to mark off here as the race goes along, progresses through the day? Trevor Walker maintains that lead, but it looks like William Whitmore is hungry. This rookie talent just joined the circuit a couple weeks ago. 3 wide for the lead as Matthew Fastnot pushes the envelope here. Whitmore is going to be leader at the line. He holds the lead over Trevor Walker. And that's an impressive rookie right there to be coming out leading at a special track such as Vegas here. And now it settles back into Trevor Walker with the lead. But Whitmore is here to play. Race still very early enough. There's no urgency to lead every lap here. Obviously, you want to lead most laps to get that bonus in the points. But William Whitmore, I think, is showing up to try and get the win. He knows that the win is far more important for this 29 team to earn himself a ticket to the chase. It's looking a little bit jam-packed here in the mid-pack. Chris Harvey better be careful not to get tangled up with the group of trucks around him here. Across all of our series, we have seen a lot of surprise first-time winners through our Sigma series of racing. ARCA, we've seen a lot of it. Bridge to Cup, we've seen a few drivers break out and get their first career win. Trucks has not been as favorable to drivers getting their first career wins, though, as we've seen so much dominance from the veterans of each division on the East Coast and the West Coast. Benham Walker got his first career win in Bridge to Cup this season and then proceeded to get a truck win as well. So he didn't necessarily get his first career win here, as he had already won his first race prior to winning that truck race. So yeah, the trucks, we have not seen very many first career winners yet this season, but there's always an opportunity. And I mean, looking right here, you've got William Whitmore with 0 career wins across all series of racing. You've got Zach Magoon with no wins. You've got Tasha Wright, and they're all running in the top 5 here. So they could potentially be looking to get their first overall career win in Sigma competition. But of course, they're going to have to defeat one of the toughest talents that this truck series has seen over the last couple years. Trevor Walker is no walk in the park. Whitmore putting on a good defense here, holding that 09 of Fast Knot behind him. And we got Chris Harvey making a move to get up into the top 5 with that Celtics paint scheme. He's dueling it out with Tasha Wright right now. She's going to get the momentum on the outside and retain 5th place. But Harvey's going to keep knocking. He's right there on her back bumper. Fast Knot with another move here again. He's going to get alongside nose to nose with William Whitmore. And following right there behind him, Magoon might be able to make the move as well. In the meantime, you got Tasha now on the attack. Magoon falling backwards here. Whitmore falling backwards. It was about this time last year that we saw Matthew Fastnot go on a hot streak in the trucks, where he ended up winning back-to-back races on this Western Division last season. So maybe he's got a knack for the summertime, getting the heat of the season to work in his favor. That 09 truck looking hot here today. It also helps to have a flame job paint scheme on that 09 truck as well. I am assuming that it favors this hotter weather a lot more than some of the other paint schemes out there. Whitmore keeps fighting his way back up to 2nd. Now we have Magoon up to 3rd as we've got Fastnot dropping backwards here to 4th. Well, Harvey on the move now as he's up to 5th, fighting for 4th position on Matthew Fastnot. Trevor Walker is not getting away too far from the rest of the field here, as he holds about a 3 truck length lead over William Whitmore. But Whitmore using the advantage of the drafters behind him to stay within the mix here. The more that these two bicker back and forth for position, the further they lose distance to that 21 truck. Now, since we've had a pretty good long green flag run here, things have kind of got singled out for the moment. And as we know who our top 5 is, let's dig a little deeper in the field and see who else is running where. So we've got Tasha Wright in 6th. You've got Alex Sanvital in 7th. Kyler Sestre, Lynn Farrell, and Adam Cruz currently in the top 10. Jason So, Paul Ladino, Kat Durham, and Noah Hobson, followed by Rich Roy up into the top 15 right now. Krista Cower might make a move here for 15th. Doesn't make enough momentum on that inside to make the pass, so she's in 16th. Gavin Legend, and then we're actually 2x2 in the mid-pack here. Spinham Walker, Joao Vitor, Dave Steele Jr. That's your top 20. Jonah Burridge, Anheuser Wagner. Trevor Vaden has made it up about halfway through the field. He's now made it to 23rd here. Bailey Parker. Another blown engine. We've already had one blown engine here today. This time it's a Chevy of Kat Durham. You would have expected to see more of this yesterday in our 777 kilometer endurance race here at Vegas. These trucks, they haven't even made it much further past 100 miles and they're blowing up left and right. Still stays green, it looks like, no caution. But our Sigma officials are keeping a very watchful eye on the track surface. We'll have to see what the failure for that 22 is. And we're gonna throw the caution yet again here for oil down on track. It's not very often that we get 2 blown engines in a race this early. And it's gonna give everyone another chance to stack it all up and shake it all out again. Another severe blown engine 22 of Kat Durham. First it was the 90 truck of Tim Cording, who was running in 2nd, blowing it up. This time it was 13th in the running order, Kat Durham. one Volkswagen, and now one Chevy with a blown engine. We'll see what happens on pit stops here, who's going to end up where. So many of these guys are going to pit every chance they get so that they can keep topping it off with fuel and swapping out those tires for max speed here today. This definitely benefits Trevor Vaden, who had a flat tire on the start of the race, almost went a lap down. He stayed on the lead lap, unlike Al Bunch last night, who had lost 2 laps and fought his way back to a second place finish. Trevor Vaden, ooh, and that was a close race off pit road, but it's going to be Trevor Walker over Whitmore yet again. Chris Harvey gains a spot from 5th up to 4th. Tasha Wright back into the top 5. Zach Magoon 6th. Wow. Adam Cruz jumps up about 6 spots up to 7th here. So in the meantime, our track crew out there cleaning up the oil spilled by the number 22 truck. Might take another lap or 2 to get back racing, but so far, if anyone's just now tuning in, you haven't missed a whole lot. Briefly at the start of the race, we saw Brian DeBlank lead for a couple laps, and then the 21 took over like we've seen so many times in the USA Trucks West here. Trevor Walker did not let Brian DeBlank lead for very long. DeBlank settled back in to a top 5 running order up until the point where Tim Cording blew up when he was running in 2nd. When Tim Cording blew up, his truck kind of stalled and bunched up a lot of drivers behind him. And it was just a racing accident. The 29 ended up trying to cut low, and the 85 as well trying to cut low, connected with the 29, and Whitmore's truck ended up sending the 85 of DeBlank spinning into the wall. So DeBlank, from a top 5 run, had to get some repairs done. He's still out there running, but definitely not the same truck that he started the night with. This truck running in 35th. I think they might still be able to get some more repairs done on it here and there. And we might see him try to make a charge through the field like Trevor Vaden. Last chance we saw, if Vaden had made it up into the top 20, he's right there in 19th. So Vaden on a tear, trying to come back from the flat tire that started this race for him. Spin'em Walker, a race winner. It'd be crazy if the number 7 truck found a way to get to victory lane again. Currently running 17th. Number 7, synonymous with Vegas. See if he comes up spinning 7s here today. Noah Hobson gaining some spots, now up to 12th here. And then your top 10, you've got Kyler Sestre, Jason So, Lynn Farrell, Adam Cruz, Zach Magoon, Tasha Wright, Chris Harvey, Matthew Fastnot, William Whitmore, and Trevor Walker. So we're doubled up for the restart here again on lap 55. We will have 122 laps to go once they take the green for the restart. So a few bonus cautions here that officials deemed necessary for track cleanup. where the game wouldn't have thrown the caution to begin with. We get a couple cautions to help restack this race, and we get some more hardcore racing at the front of the field. Trevor Walker, no joke on these restarts, man. He has worked his way around that 29 in quick fashion. Now we're sitting 3 wide for top 5. Chris Harvey and Tasha Wright stuck in the middle and the high side here. As long as they do not wreck. Man, Chris Harvey using that outside momentum to his advantage. Looks like he's going to be pushing William Whitmore. Whoa, that was an aggressive move by the 55 of Jason. So it's amazing that that didn't facilitate a wreck right there, man. All these drivers are racing like it's the last lap of the race right now, and we're only about a little over a quarter of the way through this race. In all the chaos, it's shaken out that Fastnot is up to second, Whitmore has fallen back to third, and Chris Harvey has somehow managed to maintain a top 5 on the restart through all the chaos, the fire and the flames he carries on. Whitmore is going to have the same ultimatum that the likes of Tim Cording, Tom Cording have, that he's going to have to get a win and be in the top 30 in points, which, by the way, he's running. I don't think that's going to be much of a problem to find his way up into the top 30. But that win could be elusive. It's going to be tough every week, week in, week out, to be duking it out against the Trevors. He's got half of the Trevor duo at least out of contention right now, as he's only got to deal with Trevor Walker at the moment. But if you look a little bit further in the distance, Trevor Vaden, he's starting to make his comeback here. He's making moves. He's still running 19th, but he's about to be in the top 15 before you know it. On that lap, he passes the line at 17th. Now Matthew Fastnot with the momentum in his favor. Looks like he's closing the gap on Trevor Walker here. Could very well be the advantage of Toyota Power running at the front of the field here. They have been the stars of the Truck Series. Adam Cruz has worked his way up into a top 5. He was top 10 at one point, and now fighting for a top 5 finish here tonight. The Brazilian putting on a good showing in that number 05 Dodge Ram. Oh, there we go. Whitmore on a move for second place here. So many times we've seen at this track that inside move is not the one to make. And Fastnot maintains holding second place here. The only problem was that starts to stretch out the lead for Trevor Walker the more that these folks fight in the background. Pit strategy has been dampered a little bit with those extra cautions that we got from blown engine oil down on track. These trucks should be going about 60 laps like our Cup cars do, give or take. And so from the restart on lap 56, let's do some quick math here. They should be pitting on lap 116. Man, it's almost not the perfect scenario, because if they go a full run and a full run, we're going to have people running out with 2 laps to go. It's going to pretty much stretch it to lap 176, where if someone can push it 61 laps, they could almost make it on 2 stops or 1 stop, depending on how the strategies pan out here. So most of these drivers are probably going to be hoping that we get at least 1 more caution so that that fuel mileage number does not become a big concern. But it wouldn't be Vegas without a little bit of gambling here. And I'm sure that we'll see kind of the best of both play out here tonight. We might end up seeing strategies and potentially cautions playing a factor to finish out this race. It's kind of nice having this race be a little bit longer than your standard truck races are. Gives us some more opportunities for things like this to pan out, where we might actually see fuel numbers becoming a factor, a problem. It might be an opportunity for someone to outduel the likes of Trevor Walker, when most weeks they don't have a candle to hold against him. And if we've seen 2 blown engines before halfway, logistically on odds alone, we should see at least another truck blow up before the finish. Let's go see how Brian DeBlanc is doing. He's made up a few more spots. He's up to 31st. It's going to be a brutal one for him because he's in the points battle, in the fight for the overall championship. With a bad run here today, that's actually probably going to take him out of contention for the overall regular season championship. Especially if Trevor Walker is going to finish the way he's running. And don't look now, but Trevor Vaden is now back up into the top 15 here today. He might be harnessing his inner Al Bunch around Vegas tonight. Al Bunch, of all the drivers that could have done something spectacular, he almost pulled off the most spectacular upset last night for the 777 annual, where he was 2 laps down and stayed out there. He did not give up. He had a caution or 2 help him get his lap back. Actually, his second lap back, he drove around the leader, and a caution ultimately brought him back to the rear of the field on the lead lap. But before you knew it, by the end of the race, he was up front leading laps, looking like he was going to win it all. From 2 laps down to almost winning it, he got bested by Liz Shangle in the second closest margin of victory that we've ever seen in Sigma racing history. And our points leader, Al Bunch, had to settle for second after a tremendous comeback. He almost cemented the comeback of the century in our Sigma series, but got bested by one of the Shangle clan, and that was a finish to behold. It's what we do this for. It's the excitement of that photo finish, the crazy finishes that we hope and long for to see week in and week out. And we can only anticipate having something like that here today at Vegas with these trucks as well. Tasha now up to 5th. Chris Harvey in fourth, William Whitmore in third, Matthew Fastnot in second. This deficit at the front, it has not grown a lot. It does not shrink a lot. It stays pretty much relative, and it doesn't. Yeah, it's crazy that that Trevor Walker is not able to just walk away with it. That everyone behind him is still so close and competitive to that 21 truck. Seems like he has a pretty decent short run setup for that 21 truck. And then the rest of the drivers behind him have a decent mid-run setup just to keep pace with him. And you also got to wonder, maybe the draft plays a factor here. The fact that we're almost like racing like a Daytona draft scenario here where the leader can't get too far away, with the draft helping his competitors behind him stay right in tow. This pretty much 10 truck field at the front has managed to get away from the second pack behind them. You got San Vital at the tail end of the caboose of this train at the front. And then a big gap separates him to, well, now Trevor Vaden, who's made it up to 12th. And I would not rule out Trevor Vaden closing the distance here with a clean track in front of him. He might be able to turn some competitive laps to get back into the top 10 here. Harvey making a move for third here. Looks like he might actually get the job done. Whitmore stuck up high for a bit too long there, and the momentum is now going to be on the 12 truck side before long. Whitmore still stuck up high here. Harvey still with the preferred inside line. Does not get the job done there as the 29 closes the window. And here goes the 30 of Tasha Wright now. Honestly, I don't know if the inside line is the preferred line around here. Sometimes it looks like that outside line is the fastest way around Vegas. It's not very often that you find a track where the progressive banking like this actually provides us with competitive lines all the way around the track. You got a couple spots where the drivers can really make it happen. And that's what lends itself to those close finishes that we've seen here before, especially the photo finish yesterday. Heck, if you even look at the real life Vegas track, we've seen some close finishes. Just thinking about the fall Vegas race last year, where it was Kyle Larson out-dueling the 20 of Christopher Bell, and it was a close finish at the line. I mean, it wasn't like no extreme photo finish, but it was definitely noteworthy how tight the battle was at the front of the field here in Vegas with the real life NASCAR Cup Series between Kyle Larson and Bell. Here comes Chris Harvey yet again. Is he going to be able to build enough momentum on the inside? They're going to be side by side at the finish line, which could help. I think if you get the advantage going into this turn, you might be able to make it work, because then you can carry that momentum on the backstretch. Harvey gets cycled out again. Each time that happens, it opens up a freight train behind him, where we see Tasha, just like we did last time, try to make a pass. But Harvey gets into that faster mid-groove there and keeps the position. So this kind of kind of lends you to believe that the 09 of Fastnot is pretty much just content with chilling behind the 21. Doesn't want to use up too much of his gas here and risk having to pit too soon. 21, on the other hand, might be burning too much gas out there in the lead. And who knows if he can make it on one more stop the way he's running. The money lap will be lap 118. If any driver can push it to lap 118, they'll be good enough to make it all the way to the finish without another stop. But anything short of 118 is going to be pushing it to the point where there might be some drivers running out of gas that pit on 117 or sooner. Trevor Vaden and Joao Vitor have kind of separated themselves as they're driving away from the rest of the field. John Hagan, a bit of a far cry from his winning ways in last season with that truck. Chase Kovacic, unfortunately, just needs a little bit more oomph in that 71 truck. We've seen it struggle week in, week out. It's actually about to go a lap down here. And this could spark some interest at the front of the field if they struggle to make their moves around the lap traffic here. So I went ahead and enabled green-white checkers in case we need it here today. Chris Harvey now up to third as William Whitmore struggling a little bit. I think it's safe to say that Chris Harvey definitely has had the faster truck, and he's just been trying to find a way to get by the 29. Finally able to execute and make the move. Sits in third with his sights set on Matthew Fastnot. Ow, Chase Kovacic is going to hold up the 09 something fierce here. Fastnot needs to make a move on the 71. 71 might get a black flag here if he's not careful. Doesn't want to hold up your lead traffic for too long. Fastnot still struggling to get around the 71 here. He's running about a full second off the pace. And there we've got the freight train stabilizing on the inside. Fastnot not able to complete the pass, and he's actually about to be under attack by Harvey here. This has bunched up our lead lap drivers here, something fierce. Catching a driver is one thing, passing them is a whole different story, it seems like. as Kovacic holding up our leaders and creating turmoil for many of them here. Oh, he's blocking 3 lines of traffic. This is not good. Now he's blocking the fast line. Now he's blocking the slow line. The problem is we can't black flag him now or else he'll take out this entire field of leaders. We've got to wait till he gets cleared by our lead traffic here. Chris Harvey might be getting the worst end of the stick here. He needs to get low, and go low. He does. Make the move on Kovacic. Maintains the top 5 running order. Oh, wow, the 51 slows way up here. I think 55, makes a bad mistake. Alrighty, so after that, everyone needs to recover here a little bit. Our lead has stretched out pretty lengthy now, about a 1-second lead over Matthew Fastnot. But the problem is Trevor Walker a sit and duck without any drafting help. So I think it goes to show you that the draft really is a huge factor here in Vegas. A lone duck, the 21 truck. Here comes Matthew Fastnot on a tear. He turned a 30.4 to Trevor Walker's 30.6. So this Vegas track really does race a lot like Daytona in that manner. Your top 6 still in the mix. You now have a secondary pack that is established from 7th on back to 11th. .5 compared to a 30.6, so they're catching him by about 1/10 a second, or 1/10 a lap. 1/10 a second every lap at the moment. Which I think that might have been a little bit of why it was so hard to get past Chase Kovacic, is the draft factored in, and then he was racing competitively and holding these guys up. So even if they catch the 21 of Trevor Walker, there's no guarantee that they're going to be able to get past him. Then also you're going to have to sprinkle in green lap pit stops. And we're only about 15 laps out from green flag pit stops becoming a factor here as well. That secondary group is much slower than the front group there. They're turning 30.7s. All 5 of these guys are turning 30.6s. Lap traffic again gonna become a problem here. And it's so hard to disqualify people when they're not going. They're about a second off the pace though. Yeah, if it's not your day, it's not your day. And there we keep our racing at the front of the field untouched. Yeah, And then another driver here about... We don't usually have to disqualify very many drivers because the races aren't long enough to make a big factor. But with Vegas here, the way that they catch them, it separates the racers too much. It almost becomes somewhat of a hazard for these drivers if they catch them too quickly. Here we go. Fastnot just turned his fast lap there at a 35.11 over Trevor Walker's 30.75. This lead group is cooking, even on depreciated tires, as they are definitely slower than their fastest laps, but they're still fast at the front of the field here, fighting for the overall lead. Alrighty, so we're about 10 laps shy of green flag pit stops. And what will likely be our last set of pit stops here, if they can stretch it long enough. It's definitely going to become a fuel mileage race one way or another, because they ain't going to be able to make it much further past their lap mark here. And whether or not they can run it all the way to the finish on the tanks that they fill up, it's going to be close. We know they can stretch it about 60 laps. Can they go 61 or 62? Because it's almost going to be perfectly right down the middle. Got to give William Whitmore huge credit early on in his career here to be showing such strength in a Chevy, which we all know that Chevy has had their struggles here in the USA Truck Series. Once in a while, we start to think that we've established who the top tier Chevy drivers are, and then another week goes on, another season goes on, and then all of a sudden that top tier Chevy driver looks like an also-ran. We thought that potentially, John Hagan was going to be the top tier Chevy guy, and he hasn't shown much strength in the last couple seasons. There was Brian DeBlanc. He's a little bit of a different story, though, because he never did fall to a mid-pack runner. He simply changed manufacturers. So even once he was racing a Chevy, it looked like that Chevy was going to get a win. But has since switched over to Volkswagen and is looking like he could potentially give Volkswagen a win every week. So that goes to show you the drivability out of a driver versus the actual manufacturer that he drives for. If these guys can make it even further past lap 116, that's where things get interesting, because then you'll be able to make it on one stop no matter what. Trevor Vaden making his move through the field here. He is climbing furiously through the field as he's now up to 9th. And shortly going to be getting past 7th here with his sights set on joining the lead pack eventually. No way. Trevor Walker is not even able to make it to lap 116. He burned so much fuel out front leading for so long. He's going to have to be in severe fuel save mode, as he really only made it, let's see, he made it 59 laps. That puts him at lap 173, so he's going to be about 5 laps shy. 5 laps shy, your leader of the race. There's no way he's going to make it to the finish. So Matthew Fastnot inherits the lead here, and the more laps that he can turn out front, the better it's going to be for his fuel mileage. Oh boy, I think Chris Harvey might have ran it out trying to stretch it just a bit too long here. Or wait, there's a caution. No way. No way. No way. No way. No way, Jose. We get a caution. Nah, we were starting to see things that was going to pan out. And now with fuel mileage in concern, the 21 could potentially just run around under caution and save some fuel. So we got to figure out where this caution comes from here and what is the cause. Ah, no way. William Whitmore, who's running in 3rd. Gets turned here by Tasha Wright, who's running in 4th. Was he trying to pull down pit road, maybe? Oh, he tried to pull down pit road, and there was already a car there. There's a truck there inside of him. That's a bummer for Whitmore, man. He's still going to make his trip down pit road, although I think that's an illegal move, as pit road should be closed under caution like that. So Trevor Walker is currently trapped 1 lap down here. And what we'll do is we'll give them the wave around. Actually, we got to wait and see if they pit Can't give them the wave around until we actually see if they pit or not. Trevor Walker, having had to pit so early, trapped him 1 lap down here, and strategies have definitely flip-flopped. Okay, they're going to stay out. And then that gives our leaders the pit stops that they needed here on lap 118. They're going to maintain the lead. And it's going to be Matthew Fastnot, Chris Harvey, Zach Magoon, Alex Sanvital, Jason So, Adam Cruz, Lynn Farrell, Paul Ladino, Bailey Parker, and Gavin Legend in the top 10. Tasha Wright falls back to 13th. I wonder if she had a bad pit stop. So these folks are going to be able to make it on fuel all the way to the finish now. Where's Trevor Vaden at, I wonder? 20th. And Trevor Walker, from leading majority of this race here today, he is now shuffled back to 30th. He's still on the lead lap, but his fuel mileage numbers ultimately cost him a shot at a good finish here today. Looks like he's going to have to charge through the field. We're going to have one more go at it. Everyone's good on fuel to the finish. Almost right on the dot. It seems like 60 laps to go from the time they pitted. A couple laps run under caution here will definitely help them conserve that fuel. But it's going to be Chris Harvey and Matthew Fastnot leading them to the restart here. Two drivers that have not yet won a truck race this season. They've run truck races before, but they have not won in 2024. Then you've got first-time winners potentially behind them, the 51 of Magoon and the 93 of San Vital. Some more first-time winners if you stretch even further back, Jason So and Adam Cruz. Green flag waves on the restart here, and it's drag race between the two leaders going down the front stretch here, going into turn 1. Is that midline going to be the advantage here, or is the 09 going to close the door? 3 wide, battle for second. Chris Harvey using all he's got on the high side here. Matthew Fastnot closes the door, and it's still 3 wide for second at the moment. Zach Magoon comes out on top, slotting his way up to second here. Zach Magoon making a move on the inside. Is he going to have enough momentum, though? Jason So up into the top 5. Matthew Fastnot holding the lead over Zach Magoon. Magoon on the move again with a little bit of drafting help from Harvey. You got a Toyota, Dodge, and a Honda leading the way as Zach Magoon drives it in deep. Chris Harvey not wanting to help draft with the 09 truck here. He's trying to break the draft with the 09 and find his own line. Things are getting interesting here at the front, especially now that you don't have a Trevor mixed in for the win. Trevor Vaden stuck up high here, but it looks like he's still making some moves, getting some passes done. Chris Harvey trying to go for the lead here. Bold move on the inside. Is it going to pay off, or is that 09 going to use the outside to his advantage, as we've seen trucks on that high line so many times here tonight? Let's check in on Walker and see how he's doing. Now, just like Brian DeBlanc, once you get stuck back here, it's really not smooth sailing. This is going to upset our points battle apple cart something severely, because there's only about 11 points separating Trevor Walker and Trevor Vaden, as Trevor Walker currently runs in 31st. Trevor Vaden, all the way up into the top 20, is going to inherit the points lead here tonight if things stay the way they're going. Trevor Vaden now up into the top 15, fighting for more spots and more points to help tamp his points lead. He's got more wins than Trevor Walker. He just does not have that points lead yet, because Trevor Walker, with pole positions, has been able to get more bonus points to keep that points lead away from his teammate. I think it's somewhere upwards of like 6+ poles for Trevor Walker, especially after tonight he started on the front row yet again. Matthew Fastnot has not won a very lot of truck races, but when he does, he usually wins them in traumatic fashion. Or not traumatic, but extraordinary fashion. Not traumatic. Extraordinary, or pretty much exciting ways of pulling off the win. He's found ways to take victories from drivers in the last couple wins that he's got that would have been hard to beat on their best days. And yet again today, with strategy and all the calls from the pit box, Fastnot has found a way to outduel even the Trevors here tonight. But he's got his hands full here with Chris Harvey. Harvey not letting him get away with this one, not without a fight. That Boston Celtics Honda Ridgeline of Chris Harvey has been there all night so far. And it might just very well come down to a last lap pass between these two. Can't count out Zach Magoon either, who's been here. Alex Sanvital has slowly worked his way up to a top 5 run. And Lynn Farrell right there as well. Actually, quite a few of those are Tyler Shangle Racing Dodge Rams, as you've got 3 of them in the top 6. Zach Magoon side by side with Harvey here. This could be a swap for second place, as Harvey has lost a little bit of the momentum on the high side here. Magoon making that move and sealing the swap for position, it looks like. Chris Harvey, not enough momentum on the high side to get back around the 51. The 51 now takes over sole possession of second place here. Harvey's able to get settled back into third here. Zach Magoon, one of those drivers looking to get their first ever Sigma Series career win in whatever series of racing he's contesting. That 51 truck has proven to be strong on given weeks and has struggled many times through as well, but looks like tonight, hey, they have hit the setup just right on that 51 truck, giving him a solid shot at fighting for the win here tonight. He is right there on the back bumper of Fastnot. He's going to try to make the move going through turn 1. Now onto the backstretch. Momentum on the high side is going to allow Fastnot to drive around and keep that lead. Now we've got Chris Harvey fighting on the high side here as well. This could help that 12 truck get back up to second here. Chris Harvey right there on the high side. Is he going to be able to close the door on the 51? You got to give the 51 credit for making an attempt to try and take the lead away. But ultimately it did not pay off, as it looks like he's going to lose second back to Chris Harvey here. Oh, a little bit of drafting help from the TSR teammates. Lynn Farrell goes low here. He's teammates with Zach Magoon, the 05 as well. Adam Cruz, all three of them are teammates. So we could maybe see, oh, and they give up. They cut bait on the 51 truck pretty quickly there. That high groove they noticed was working a little bit better, and they're drafting with the 93 truck instead of their teammate, the 51. Man, Chris Harvey slicing and dicing and working his way back into another battle for the lead here. But Matthew Fastnot has just been tough to get around. The laps start ticking away here tonight in Vegas, as we're down to just around 40 laps to go here. Everyone should be good to go all the way to the finish on the fuel mileage that they've got. What a bummer for William Whitmore, who looked like a contender for the win here tonight, to getting collected in a wreck and being tail end of the field with his slower truck doing part to the damage. Trevor Walker has only gained a couple spots, up to 27th here. The points damage has already been done, as Trevor Vaden has worked his way up to 13th here tonight after nearly going a lap down from a flat tire before lap 1 even waved. I'm not going to have the Al Bunch-esque recovery, but still a great turnaround for that 20 team. Here we go with another attempt. Harvey still not able to make that pass on the inside, though. Now Sanvital joins second place briefly here. And will take over second place, it looks like, from Chris Harvey. Bailey Parker is joining the party. That's the first time we've seen that cat truck in the top 10. Bailey Parker in 7th, Jason So in 8th, Noah Hobson 9th, and Dave Steele Jr. in 10th. Lynn Farrell So now Sanvital for the first time today up to second here. We'll see if this Toyota has anything against the 09 Toyota. He drives it in there deep as we see so many of them get to the apex of the corner, and then that outside line kicks it into overdrive. Fastnot drove back around him. It was an attempt. We'll have to see if anyone's got that little bit extra juice on the inside line to make it work. We've really got about 13 trucks all within the lead draft here, which is amazing towards the end of a race like this, that we have that many drivers all with a valid shot of working their way to the front. And there goes Magoon again. 93, I think, will have the advantage on the high line here. Ooh, Chris Harvey gets shuffled up high, which could help, it could hurt. Looks like it's going to help him get by Zach Magoon on the high side. Sometimes getting shuffled up high is actually a saving grace here at Vegas, as most tracks you would get shuffled up high and drop backwards. You get shuffled up high here and oh no, Chris Harvey's got something going wrong. Has he got a flat tire? Flat tire, damn. Top 5 run all day, and it's been unraveled here with a flat tire out of the 12 truck. Man, it has been a rough day for drivers, and tire failures, mechanical failures. That ultimately upsets the apple cart here, as now you've only got 2 trucks at the front of the field. Lynn Farrell had to make a pit stop too. Flat tire on him, perhaps. Oh, I think he got tangled up. When, let's see, maybe there was some damage sustained. When Chris Harvey gets the flat tire here, there must have been some extracurricular that we missed. Oh, that was it. Man, I thought there would have been more damage than that, but apparently just clipping the 12 as hard as he did caused enough damage to get front and rear end damage. Man, Chris Harvey now 1 lap down in 35th. The last truck on the field amongst all the trucks left running. Man, what a heartbreak for Harvey. In the meantime, Matthew Fastnot still holds this lead, but the draft has greatly disintegrated here, as now you're just down to 2 trucks at the front of the field. This could open up a window for Alex Sanvital to make a pass that lasts without the extra draft from the drivers around you. Could we potentially see this 93 make a last lap pass like Liz Shangle did last night in our 777 annual? Zach Magoon, 3rd. He's making laps competitive to the leaders, but he's going to need some drafting help to catch back up with them as well. Bailey Parker up to 4th. Noah Hobson in 5th. Jason So in 6th. Trevor Vaden all the way up into the top 10. Holy cow, man. That's a turnaround for sure. Doesn't seem like there's going to be near enough laps if we get a caution and give wave arounds for most of those people trapped at the back now to even make much of a comeback. Couple laps there, Alex Sanvital was just a little bit faster than Matthew Fastnot. Now we're down to just 21 laps remaining here this evening. Here's the crazy part. All of our points contenders have had a rough day here today at Vegas. Consider it maybe luck of the draw or just shenanigans here in Las Vegas, but your points leader is going to have a rough day here today. Second place had to resurge from having a bad day. But even Brian DeBlanc, Chris Harvey, all these drivers that are in the top 5 in points have struggled here today, and that's only going to allow some of these other drivers, such as Alex Sanvital, Matthew Fastnot, or even Zach Magoon, to make up points in a very tight and fierce points battle for this USA Trucks Western Division. Also, this race, it's far from over. There's a lot that could happen in these next 20 laps. Trevor Walker has climbed his way back up to 17th, so a resurgence for the 21 team. But he's not going to make up near enough points here today unless he gets up into the top 10, which, man, it's going to be tight. We'll have to see once the points are all tallied up at the end of this race whether or not Trevor Vaden is going to be your points leader or Trevor Walker. Here goes Sanvital for the lead. Fastnot is going to have to hold off these two trucks. It is now a 3-dog fight for the win. We are down to 15 laps to go around Vegas here tonight. Fastnot has been hard to pass. These guys have tried everything. They've thrown as much at it as they could to try and get past this 09 truck. But he has had the preferred line and continues to lead the way. Sanvital right there in second. Zach Magoon in third. Bailey Parker up to fourth could join this party before the end of the race, as well as Noah Hobson and Jason So. The more they duke it out with Fastnot for the lead, the more likely it's going to drag them into the mix here by the end of it. But the laps are clipping away quicker and quicker as we're going to be down to about 13 laps to go now. Does San Vital have anything for Matthew Fastnot? One of our grizzled veterans of this USA Truck Series. Fastnot's been at it since 2022. Still seeking a truck championship in this series, being grizzled veteran as he is. Waiting for the perfect season to come along to rack up those wins and rack up a championship. He's currently having to fend off two of our newer rookies to the series, San Vital and Zach Magoon, which, if I'm not mistaken, it's either their first full season or partial. Well, it's definitely their first full season, that's for sure. Trying to make the move on the front stretch, which we haven't seen made very often in this race. Has the momentum carrying it into turn one. Is Matthew Fastnot going to be able to hold on the outside? We'll see. San Vital getting a little bit of drafting help from Magoon here. Magoon now drafting with the 09. Pushes that 09 around the high side. San Vital still driving it in deep. But that inside line has proven to be not the place to be as the 09 settles this debate with the lead in his possession. It was a well worth shot. I mean, these drivers might be just trying some things right now to try and see when to make the move. San Vital tested the waters there, wanted to see what he was capable of doing if he started the pass maneuver on the front stretch rather than the back stretch. And I think he learned something. He put something in his arsenal there that he's going to be able to carry with him to the closing laps of this one. See, we'll try again here. I bet he's going to try the backstretch and see. He's still got a couple laps to toy with here. Yeah, it's not preferred to make that move on the backstretch. You lose so much speed through turn 4. So not even worth it. And perhaps maybe it's all to plan here to try and throw the 09 off the scent. Try to give him some different approaches to try and get him off strategy, get him off of his perfect run so far that's kept him in that lead. Looks like the 93 always able to regain all the traction he loses within a lap. So you can try one thing, and if it fails, take another lap, recover, and be back at it again. Which is the glorious part about being, with 6 laps left to go, that you can actually play with these things here. I think it goes to show you this 93 truck just a little bit faster than the 09. But passing is just so hard to do here that no matter how many times you get alongside the 09, it's just it's a matter of finding the right opportunity to pounce and take what is most desired, being that lead position. Now we're down to just 4 laps remaining here, and it is down to the nitty-gritty. Don't forget, we do have green-white checkers enabled in case there is a last late race wreck here. I almost get the feeling that Sanvital is purposely hanging up here to try and eliminate the draft off the 09 truck. This could end up biting him in the butt if he lets that 09 truck get too far away, though. Yeah, Sanvital was a full 2/10 slower that lap, so that's not ideal to lose that much traction to the leader. But perhaps thinking of a rubber band effect, if he gets the 09 to slow down enough, maybe he can just catapult around the outside of the 09 truck on the last lap. So it's hard to tell what these drivers think. We can always try to diagnose it or analyze it and whatnot, and you just never know. That 93 must have a plan, and to be quite contrary to what you would expect from a truck going full speed all the time. Looks like he's trying to surprise the 09 by slowing up and let go of that rubber band. We're on lap 177 of 178, so it looks like Sanvital is going to have one opportunity here tonight. One more lap and then they'll see the white flag waving in air. I don't think it's the move. Don't make the move on the backstretch. You want to try it on the front stretch again. Yeah, right there. Watch. He's making it. He's keeping that momentum in his favor. He's going to try to make the move on the front stretch as the white flag waves in air. One more lap around Vegas here tonight. Who's going to make it happen? The 51 is closed back up as well. Now they're going to have to try to make the move on the backstretch yet again. Is he going to have help from the 51, or is the 51 going to spoil the party here and keep that 93 at bay? Unfortunately, looks like Matthew Fastnaught's smooth sailing here as the checkered flag waves in air. Matthew Fastnaught gets his first win of 2024 here at Las Vegas for the 777 after party. The after party to our 777 annual from yesterday. These trucks put on a great show. Working his way all the way up to 6th, Trevor Vaden should be your new points leader. Well, not so quickly. Trevor Walker worked his way all the way up to 10th, led most laps, and that 11-point deficit could very well still be in the favor of Trevor Walker, albeit smaller deficit. Heartbreak for Chris Harvey, man. I mean, he had a shot at fighting for the win here today. So did William Whitmore, and they're both going to finish outside the top 20. Well, Matthew Fastnaught's going to be able to hang his hat on a pretty high-end win here in the USA Trucks with a Vegas win to his name. Might not carry near the same prestige as the 777 annual, but it'll be up there. Winning at Vegas will be just like winning at Daytona for the Real Life Cup drivers here in our series. And so after 12 of 15 races, our championship battle is still very much highly contested between the two Trevors. It's going to be hard to decide which one of those two is actually going to take over the overall regular season championship as they continue to keep duking it out week in and week out. Trevor Vaden continues to outpoint Trevor Walker, but Walker has so many bonus points to his disposal that he continues to lead that point standing. So, be interesting to see once we get those points tallied up who is on top and who is in second.
Greg, did you have any ignition problems?
Yep, mad kudos to Matthew Fastnaught for winning yet another spectacular victory like that. And thank you everyone for tuning in. It was an exciting race. I think we've only got maybe one, maybe two more streams here in July, and it'll be pretty much the month of July off for our series as we'll get prepped and ready for August, and even the playoffs, the chase, and all the other extracurriculars that come later in the season. So hopefully I'll have a good afternoon, good day, good evening, good night. Stay safe out there, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you in the next